everybody, this is Island Hopper TV, and today we're coming to you from St Kitts Nevis. We're going to show you all around the best things to do. Let's do it. That's right, Island Hoppers coming to you from the West Indies here. We're going to show you some of the best things to do on these two islands. First up, I want to introduce you to the main town, Basseterre. Now, this is the capital and the main starting point where the airport is on St. Kitts. Here you'll find an old town, also the ferry port, and the cruise ships also arrive here, making it the main port of entry. Now here we are at the St. Kitts Scenic Railway. We're going to show you what it's like to take this amazing train. Now this historic railway is about 30 miles round trip going along the eastern side of the island. It costs around $145 per adult and it takes around 3 hours. I would suggest booking ahead of time as it does fill up quickly. And if you look right behind me, you can see we're at the Timothy Hill overlook where you can see the Marriott looking down towards the area where Frigate Bay is. Lots going on down there with lots of different resorts. And Timothy Hill is a free activity. It's a viewpoint where you can see the northern part of the island, the volcanoes, and then you can see towards the southern peninsula, looking out towards Nevis where they have the volcano on that island. So it's really a nice place to get pictures and good viewpoints. That's what I really liked about Timothy Hill. You will notice there is a tunnel that takes you down to South Friars Bay or North Friars Bay, depending on where you want to go. Now the southern peninsula is where the luxury homes are. So I just went for a little swim here at the Reggae Beach, Cockle Beach area with super nice views of Nevis. So I'm gonna go for a little swim here. St. Kitts isn't exactly known for beaches, but if there was a beach that I really enjoyed, I would have to say it's down here at the Cockle Beach, Reggae Beach area. This obviously has that vantage point looking down towards Nevis. Nevis has probably better beaches than St. Kitts, which I'll be showing you a little later. And the main reason it's called Reggae Beach is because they have a bar here that people like to hang out at. It's open air, really a cool experience. Now here we are at the Christophe Harbour, where you can see yachts right behind me. So Christophe Harbour used to be a salt pond only, but now they've turned it into a marina type harbor. The views on the southern peninsula at St. Kitts are phenomenal. It's really a beautiful place down here. As you can see in St. Kitts, we drive on the left side of the road. And now here we are at Friars Bay. This is on the south side. And right here, you're gonna find many different beach bars. This is a cool place to go at night. Again, it's one of those beaches where you get that beach bar vibe. In the daytime, it's extremely hot here, so keep that in mind. Now here we are at Black Rocks. This is going to be on the northeast side of the island. It's called Black Rocks because they have these pointy rock spires that come out of the ocean. People like to stop here, do some shopping, take in the viewpoints of the beautiful side of the island, facing out towards the Atlantic actually. But this is a historical place. They also used to have a deep water channel out here. So it is worth stopping here and going down to the Black Rocks. Probably spend about 30 to 40 minutes here. A lot of people do this stop when they are checking out the northern part of the island, especially when they're pulling into port with the cruise ship. Something I found interesting was this black tire pathway that I used to get down to the coast. Yeah, so under $20 got me an official St. Kitts and Nevis hat and shirt. I'm a happy guy.
Hi, this is Cheryl at Black Rock. Look at my lovely shirts. They're only $10. You guys are free to come and see best place to shop on the island of St. Kitts.
$5 hats, my friends. And if you wanted to get some great deals while shopping and meet Cheryl, she's over there at Black Rocks. Here we are at Arthur's Restaurant and Grill on the far north end of the island. And from here you can see some of the Dutch Caribbean islands. They're not too far away. Places like Oranjestad, or maybe even behind there they have other islands looking out towards the St. Bart's area off in the distance. And maybe on a clear day you can even see Barbuda. The hospitality at Arthur's is top flight and good drinks. Also, you get a nice view of the St. Kitts volcano when you're leaving. So if you wanted to check out the northern part of the island, definitely stop at Arthur's. monkeys. You got monkeys. So here we are now at the Fort George Brimstone Fortress. Wow, look at this place. Yeah, so Fort George here was an impressive citadel right here facing out towards the Caribbean. I mean, considering how calm and peaceful it is now, if you date back all the way to when they were getting sugar off these islands, you could see how important this fortress was. There was lots of men working here. Women as well were here, and as you know, sugar cane in the islands back in the 17 to 1800s was as valuable as oil is today. So a lot of these islands, whether it be French or Dutch, have these fortresses, but this one here is top level, and it's really in a place you would never expect because there's nothing really around here. And as far as forts that I've seen in the Caribbean, I've seen the one in Santo Domingo, I've seen the one in San Juan. I would say this one's definitely one of the most impressive ones that I've seen in all of the islands. I can't think of one that's even more impressive than this. So if you are a history buff, I don't see how you come to St. Kitts and skip this. It's probably about 30-minute drive away from Basseterre, so you can easily get here. But definitely if you're a history person, this one's for you. If you're not much of a history person, you can probably skip it. The Brimstone Hill Fort here does cost $15 per person, so take that into consideration when making a trip up here. You can either rent a car on the island and come up, or you can take a tour. One thing I will say about this tour that we're going to show you some more. At this point, we've mostly circumnavigated St. Kitts. It probably takes 2 to 3 hours to do it by rental car. It depends on how long you want to stay at each attraction. But either way, the views up here are spectacular. But now let's head south a bit, and then we'll end up heading over towards Nevis. There are a few different colonial era homes or plantation homes, if you want to call it that. This one here is the Fairview Great House. They also have a very interesting slave museum where you can get a lot of history about that on this island. I found the staff here to be very friendly. One of the questions that came up was about those little monkeys that I showed you earlier. Where did they come from? They said they came from India or Africa, from some of the people that were trading in the region. And they ended up on 3 different islands, St. Kitts being one of them. And they say that the best place to find those monkeys are on the south side of the island, although I seem to only see them on the northern part nearby the Brimstone Fort. Now, admission into this house and botanical garden is $10 for adults, $5 for children. And like I said, they do have that slave museum, which is actually where I went. That's where I spent most of my time because the information that was down there I felt was very unique and very real. So I wanted to take it in and learn as much as I could about that history. And here's the old bathhouse here. Look at that. Look at this map of St. Kitts here. Here they have a slave museum where it goes over the history, and you can learn a lot about slavery from Africa to the islands here. And now we have the ferry to Nevis. Now the ferry costs around $18 to $19 per person, takes around 30 minutes. This one here went from Basseterre to Charlestown. There are a few different ferries on the island, so it just depends on where you're taking out of. And once you get to Charlestown, you realize that Nevis is a totally different vibe than St. Kitts, and everything's positive. Both islands are great, but it's just different vibes. We're going to check out some of the beaches while here. Now here we are at Pinnys Beach on Nevis, which is definitely one of the best beaches here in the country. Let's put it like this, there's a Four Seasons hotel located on this beach, so that tells you something. Now here I am at the Alexander Hamilton Museum on Nevis. This was actually a tribute to one of the founding fathers who was born here on Nevis. This is the Alexander Hamilton Museum. So here I am now in the Nevis Bath Village. Obviously there's a volcano here, so they have geothermal hot springs. Charlestown is a vibe all in of itself, and the baths are definitely part of that. If you get a chance, go around the island and do the volcano tour. It probably only takes 2 hours to go around the whole island of Nevis, and that includes some stops. But what I had to do was head back over to St. Kitts because that's where my hotel was. I didn't quite get to explore like I wanted to, so I'll have to come back another day. Just for your information, the last ferry actually leaves Nevis at 6 p.m. This here is Frigate Bay. So you can see along Frigate Bay they have lots of restaurants, bars. If you're looking for the nightlife, I would say Frigate Bay, Friars Bay, or Reggae Beach. Those are basically the three areas you want to chill at night. If you're on the north side of the island, I would say being around Arthur's. Ceviche. These are mahi tuna fish sticks. And it's breakfast time, man. Now let's talk about arrival into St. Kitts and Nevis. You do need to fill out an electronic arrival form. It is about 2 different pages. They ask a series of questions, but it's definitely something you have to have done before you get here, because if you don't have it filled out by the time you get here, you gotta scan the QR code when you get to the airport and then fill it out before you can process immigration. So I would recommend having that filled out. As far as everything else goes, I found the process to be pretty smooth. You just go through the line, they ask you where you're staying, how many days you're gonna be here, and then you're in the country. And right when you get out of the airport, there's going to be taxis there looking to take you to wherever you need to go. So smooth arrival. Just need to fill out that e-form to make it a little bit easier. And I just want to talk about money here on the island, or currency. So they use a Eastern Caribbean dollar. It's about 3 of those to 1 US. When you transact here, a lot of the smaller vendors are going to only take cash, no cards. Like, card is not widely accepted, and getting cash is not easy. For example, this ATM here, they only use transaction denominations of 100 and 20. So if I took out 150 of Eastern Caribbean dollar, they would not be able to process that transaction. So I had to use 160. So I just wanted to put that out there. Now let's talk about hotels and accommodation here. So St. Kitts definitely has more hotels than Nevis. As you can see, Nevis on the map definitely doesn't have as many people, so less infrastructure, although the mother of them all, the Four Seasons, is on Nevis. They have a Marriott, Grand Hyatt, and a Hilton Curio all over there. They also have, I think it's called the Park Hotel, so several different casinos on the island of St. Kitts. As far as I know, they don't have any casinos here on Nevis. Now let's talk about how to get from St. Kitts, Nevis. So you go from Basseterre on St. Kitts to Charlestown on a ferry. It took about 40 minutes, but they say it takes an hour. I guess it just depends on the seas. There is also a shorter water taxi that goes across the straits that will take you from the area where the Rasta Bar is to another town nearby, Pinney Beach, on Nevis. So it's a lot shorter, and you know, you might just plan on doing that if you're in the area of this peninsula on St. Kitts. And that goes from what is called Reggae Beach to Sea Bridge at Tamarind Bay. Now, just for some general facts, being that it is called St. Kitts and Nevis, most people call it Nevis if you're anything like me. There is 47,000 people that live here. So it is the smallest country in the Caribbean. It's also the original first colony the English had set up. So it's considered the mother colony of the Caribbean. Another thing that's interesting is how it got its name. Kitts is in Christopher Columbus, the patron saint, Christopher. So there you go, some interesting facts. So let's talk a little bit more about transportation. So I rented a car while I was here. It was around $60 plus a little bit of taxes. since tax here is around like 24%, but some of that's like 12% service charge. Just depends on if they're collecting the service charge. But yeah, rental car seems to be the absolute best way to get around the islands. Obviously, if you want to go inter-island, you know, you would take the ferry from Basseterre to Charlestown. Ticket price is around 35 Eastern Caribbean dollar, or EC as they call it. And then if you wanted to go back, same price. Comes out to around like $10 to $12, something like that, depending on the currency exchange rate. But yeah, you need a rental car. They also have a ferry that you can drive your rental car onto. You just have to make sure you ask the company if you can take the rental car to Nevis. As far as safety goes here in the islands, I haven't noticed anything that seemed dangerous. Driving around the islands, I felt safe. Basseterre does seem to get a little bit crazy with the parties at night in the evening times. So maybe there could be some possibility for some issues there. But people seem very friendly here, helpful, always willing to go out of their way, not very money hungry. I didn't come across any scams or anything that stood out. It seemed like everyone was very fair with the taxi pricing. Anytime I had a question, people weren't just trying to get money off me. They were very fair. So I found it to be a quality place, safe. Obviously, you would want to exercise normal precautions, but other than that, you should be good to go. All right, guys, thanks for watching. If you plan to visit the Caribbean, watch our Barbados video or St. Lucia next.